Hey, it's Tommy B, host of This Is the G podcast. To keep our podcast real and unfiltered, we accept limited sponsorship dollars. Instead, we depend on you, our listeners. Now you can support us and look good buying our swag. Our merchandise store is open for fall 2022. You'll find coffee mugs, shirts, hoodies, and there's more to come. Look for the link in our podcast notes of each show or go to our page at castropolis.net/This Is the G podcast. That's castropolis.net/This Is the G podcast. Be a G. Support the podcast, y'all. News, politics, pop culture, and that piping hot tea from the one and only Tonya B. This is the G podcast.
The next time you drive through Central Georgia, we've got a radio station we think you'll love. We're Magic 100, playing all of the songs you grew up with. You'll find us at 100.1 FM. That's 100.1. On I-75, you can tune us in from the north at Locust Grove and from the south when you get to Perry. 100.1 FM. Classic soul hits. Magic 100.
This is the G Podcast with your host, Tommy B.
One thing I have not done, I've never pretended to be a police officer, and I've never threatened a shootout with the police.
Well, and now I have to respond to that.
We are moving on,
I
gentlemen.
have to respond to that. And you know what's so funny? I am with many police officers, and at the same time,
Mr. Walker, Mr. Walker, Mr. Walker, excuse me, Mr. Walker. Please, out of respect, I need to let you know, Mr. Walker, you are very well aware of the rules tonight.
Yes.
And you have a prop.
Yes.
That is not allowed, sir. Yeah. I ask you to put that prop away.
Well, it's not a prop. This is real. And he said, I have a problem. I never worked with law enforcement. It is considered a prop, Mr. Walker. Yes.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
You're very well aware of the rules. Aren't you?
Well,
Aren't you aware of the rules?
He brought up the truth. Let's talk about the truth.
Thank you for putting that prop away. And as a matter of fact, we still have a lot to get to, and we are not going to continue this. We're going to follow up with a question.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is the G Podcast, episode 150. Yes. And the crowd goes wild. Don't worry, Dicey. I'm not going to pull you into that. Don't worry. But welcome, y'all. I'm your host, Tommy B. And you know why I played that? Because nothing gets you ready for Halloween like a Warnock Walker debate. Nothing says horror.
A good joke. Like a good joke.
That's horror. That's terror for me. If you live in Georgia, Herschel Walker is terror. Considering that he's close in the polls, I'm like, oh my God. Nothing says Halloween like that. But we're going to talk about that in the news. I just wanted to... We're not going to spend a whole lot of time breaking out clips because that one clip honestly says it all. So we'll get to it. But each week we do news, politics, pop culture, that piping hot tea from the one and only. Y'all give it up for Tonya B. Yes. Yeah, Tonya B.
Thank you.
Piping hot tea.
Thank you.
Host of the Byrdwire Friday and Saturday nights, 8 p.m. and 10 p.m., Saturdays at noon. And now y'all give it up because Tonya B now has the Byrdwire on demand.
Yeah, well, hey, you know who really deserves the credit?
Who's that?
I don't deserve the credit.
Lady J.
I want to make sure. Lady J. Yeah, give her flowers, her pocketbook, and her things. Yeah. Thank you, Lady J.
The birthday girl and web goddess, Lady J. Thank you so much. But now you can go to castropolis.net. If you click on the Byrdwire logo, and you'll see the most recent episode right there. You can just hit play and listen to, And, we've been telling people about the Byrdwire, and for the most part, they had to catch it live with those 3 times. But now, if they don't catch it, they can go back. It's an on-demand world anyway. So, you know how.
Yeah, that's true. People have a lot to do.
So tell us a little bit about the Byrdwire. We got a guest. And of course, Dicey's here. Dicey, don't be sitting there like you. She's sitting there like, she got kids, so she'll understand this analogy. Like kids sitting there waiting for the principal to come in, like, oh, Lord. But you're looking good, Dicey. And, Dicey, you've not been up on camera, and this is the 5th year on with us. And I don't think you've been up on camera any of the 5 years. So it's good to see you, as well, all the way from Houston. Good to see you.
It is. It's good to see you and good to be seen.
That's right. But tell us the Byrdwire this week. A little bit. What's up?
We have the Byrdwire Top 10. I give you the best new and classic independent jams. We support independent artists. I closed out the set this week with tribute to some more one-hit wonders from the year 1989. But I want everybody this is perfect timing for the show to go on demand, because next week I have two things going. One is it's a tribute or salute, if you will, to the 25th anniversary of the movie Soul Food, which everybody knows about that.
Mama, yeah.
So we got some audio clips, and we got, some of those, the best, the hottest songs. That soundtrack was, there were people like En Vogue and Dave Hollister and Blackfeet that were on the soundtrack that never really got credit, didn't get played. But there are enough songs for that, including the Mama song. And then because it came down so late last night, the Byrdwire classic sweat set, which is how I close the show each and every week to make you turn up the fan and call the fire department. We're going to salute Joy Sims, who passed away late last night after the show was over. So, she had a short but very productive run, and she was on the charts, not just in the U.S. but over in the UK. So we got to love too, because she had the bangers. She had the bangers. She did. So I think that that'll give folks a lot to look forward to.
Very good. Give it up for you one more time, Tonya B.
All right.
Appreciate you. Country commentator is in Vegas, so must be nice.
What happens in Vegas? I get away. No, he's in Vegas, but what is her first name? Last name Vegas. He's in Vegas. Okay, I'm just saying.
Talk to him about that when he gets back. But also, Dicey, I don't know, but thanks to my peeps who have downloaded my nightmare journals on Novella. I'm an author, now, Dicey. And two published, two short stories are up now. The link is on the website. Go to the website. Story 2 is up, and it's called White Flight. I ain't gonna tell y'all what it's about, but first one's next. This one's White Flight, and both are up right now. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and do it, because this is why the folks are here, and always one of our top, if not the top episode of the year. That's how big Halloween is, and horror. Horror is huge. This is it right here. Yes. Yeah. I get it.
Yeah.
She getting all ready. There she go.
Yeah.
What's up? The one and only Dicey Grenor is in the building, y'all. Give it up. Give her a little bit more time. Go on. It's the sex and horror podcast. So, she she does a little bit of both with her co-host, and she'll tell you a little bit about that in just a minute. But I also wanted to say that this is the 5th year of Dicey actually being with me doing the top 10, because we started doing the top 10 back with This Is the G podcast, and this is our 5th year. So give it up for the 5th anniversary. Dicey, damn, where's the time going?
Hey, just like SNL, how you get a 5-year jacket? Dicey needs some type of 5-year recognition. I'm just saying.
And
okay,
Dicey, we will give away the store for Tonya B. So yeah, we got merch. So be looking out. All right. So once again, go to DiceyGrenor.com. DiceyGrenorBooks.com is the website. I'll make sure I have that on the podcast page. The narcoleptic vampire, all the things she's doing. You're a screenwriter as well, and doing movies. Talk about that. Give it up.
Yes, I have written 4 scripts, and I have not broken through Hollywood, though. Okay, so there's nothing that I've done and produced. But since we've last spoken, I have started Spicey Dicey Productions. So I'm
Good
just
stuff.
going to, start producing my own stuff. That's the route that I decided to take. Instead of sitting around waiting for things to come to me, I'm going to make it happen. So.
Good stuff. I'm going to give you applause. Also, get the air horn. Definitely. All right, so Spicey, Dicey, we're here for the top 10. And this is the first year, I think, that I haven't asked you in advance, hey, what's going to be on the top 10. So I'm totally clueless. All right, so I'm going to throw it to you, and we'll start with number 10. What you got?
Well, let me say this before we get going, because I always got to do my little disclaimer. There was so many horror films and TV shows that have been released. I cannot keep up anymore. That's a good problem to have, but there's been so many. So there's going to be a lot that I probably missed. So if you have a favorite and you don't hear it, I may not have watched it. I just haven't gotten to it yet. But I try to watch the things that appeal to me. So you're not going to hear the Monsters or Hocus Pocus or anything like that on my list anyway, because that's just not, I don't enjoy that sort of thing. But the ones that I did watch and enjoy, there's also going to be some popular ones that aren't going to make it, like Scream and Halloween Ends. Sorry, that's not going to make it. Hellraiser, which is a favorite. I'm even wearing a Hellraiser shirt. The new Hellraiser is not going to make it. I'm sorry. But the ones that I enjoyed, I know I'm gonna talk about it, and I'm gonna tell you why they made my list. Okay,
cool.
The first one is The Black Phone. So I went to see The Black Phone in the theater when it first came out, and anytime C. Robert Cargill, Scott Derrickson are in something, if they're behind it, if they're writing and directing, I'm going to watch it. And they also have a really good team with Ethan Hawke. Like, okay, so I call these the Sinister guys. The Sinister is one of the best movies ever.
Sinister is boss.
And so the Sinister 1 and 2. And so when I see these guys on a movie, I'm going to watch it anyway. Throw in Ethan Hawke. Okay, this time he is a villain. He is a creepy ass villain, which is good. It was a great twist in it that I didn't see coming. I always love those things that are unpredictable. I didn't know how it was going to end, and the way it ended was very satisfying. Sometimes it could be so suspenseful, and then you get to the end, it's like, that's it. That's a big letdown, which is how I felt about some of the other more popular ones. This one did not disappoint. Anytime you're dealing with child abductions, it is very difficult. That's a hard subject. But they handled it with care, because when you throw in that supernatural edge, it's solvable in a way, So I really, really thoroughly enjoyed this. Joe Hill is one of the writers on this too. I mean, I think it was based on his short story, and that's Stephen King's son, by the way. That's what I was going to say. I did not know that. I did not know that. Yeah. So The Black Phone, thoroughly enjoyable. That's I don't know that these are in order, but we'll just do it. I mean, we'll call that number 10 and just roll with the list. So next one. All right. Next up, and this one is going to be controversial. There are going to be a lot of people that do not agree with it. I love Leatherface. So just like Jigsaw, I love Jigsaw. So his movies are always going to kind of make my list. Leatherface movies are going to make my list. So Texas Chainsaw Massacre is on my list. So at first when I was watching, I'm like, hold up. Leatherface don't just throw in a chop and he's done. What is going on? What's this pussified Leatherface? No. But then he finally came in with it and he started sticking it. And that 2 words, bust scene. Bust scene, and I don't want to spoil that, but woo, baby, throw Leatherface with a chainsaw on a bus full of people, and it is murder and mayhem galore. Yes, it was. Oh my God, no. Now the other characters on there, and y'all know I get really animated. I get really excited about this. You're like, I'm not putting on a role. This is me. This is how I act when I get excited talking about stuff. Okay, but the people were getting on my nerves so much. I was like, why are y'all doing such stupid things? No, why? But it still works because Leatherface is doing his thing. So it's heavily relying on the slasher, on him doing what he does. At first, I was oh no, it's already going to be a slasher. But then you're throwing in the Confederate flag and racial issues. You're throwing in a school shooting issue. Wow. This might be too heavy for me. They also made Leatherface a little more sympathetic. Instead of him just being crazy and evil, they threw in this revenge element. Like he was doing it out of love and loss and grief. So the kids were stupid, but I love what they did with the violence in Leatherface in general. His parents were crazy as hell, the hillbillies. So what kind of love was that? I'm gonna leave it at that. Whatever they were, I don't know if it was. I just remember the first one. I just remember how all the folks in that house. Oh, Well, I will say that they've changed up some of those things. So this time he is in an orphanage, and the mom is the one that he's attached to. The mother of the orphan kids is the one he's attached to. So it's not like the other. It's not like the other ones. They may even have changed his name. I can't remember what his real name was in this one. They may have even changed his name. So it's a little bit different. I wouldn't compare it to the other ones. I wouldn't even say it's as good as the other ones. The 2016 one with Matt Bomer, like that is top tier with Leatherface. So I wouldn't say it's as good as that, but it still makes my list. It's still Leatherface.
Okay, what you got number 8?
All right. Now, I always got to throw in a show, okay? This is not a film, and I was cutting up about it when I first heard about it, okay? Tommy B, we may have even talked about it, I don't know. But when I first heard that there was going to be an interview with the vampire show, I was screaming, no! I was so resistant. No, y'all are not going to do this. You can't see it on my wall, but I got this poster on my wall. Like, I live and breathe Interview with the Vampire. Anne Rice's Interview with the Vampire, the show, I love it so much. I will be the first person to admit that I was wrong. I can always go back and watch the movie, okay? Mm-hmm. Brad Pitt, Tom Cruise, Kirsten Dunst, they're still there. It's not harming them. But now we get, and ever since I saw a comment, this has been stuck in my head. Someone said, this is blacker and gayer than the movie. But it's so true. And now we got the black, gay Interview with the Vampire, and I'm loving it. He's in Louisiana. He is a pimp. He's a businessman. We got this French Lestat. Louis is a black guy. He's the one who was in Game of Thrones, and I just love what they're doing with it. It's so beautiful. It still has the heart of Anne Rice in it. Yes, they've changed a lot of things, but it's still at the heart of it the same thing. So I don't have a problem with the casting. I think it's great. I love the changes, and it's not going to be something that everybody's going to agree with. It's like you either love it or hate it. Yeah. But this is already, like when I first watched True Blood, I watched it over and over and over again. I'm ready to watch. I've seen the first 3 episodes. I'm ready to watch this again and again and again. Like it's already one of my favorite shows, and I've just only seen 3 episodes. I love what they're doing with it.
Good stuff. Good stuff. What you got at number 7?
Prey. Now, Prey. Even when we talked about it on the Sex and Horror podcast, initially I hadn't finished it, and I was like, "Oh my God, this girl is getting on my nerves. Like she wants to be known as a warrior so badly that she's doing stupid things. Like she put everybody in danger doing these stupid things. This again relies heavily on the Predator himself. I am a Predator fan. I love this character. I love the dreadlocks. I love he's larger than life. I love this mask thing he has going on. I love how he's invisible and he just comes. Well, they use that. Him jumping invisible and then coming out and wreaking havoc. There are some creative kills in this. And when it comes to the girl, I mean, I can understand she did some dumb things, but I understand where she's coming from. She did, but she wanted to be a warrior. She did not want to be a part of the status quo. And I love the message. It was also in the Bullet Train movie with Brad Pitt, where the person who is the least threatening looking is so underestimated. And so that's how she ends up beating him. And so I love that message because I feel that every day too. I look so non-threatening to people. I'm so underestimated, and I've learned to use that to my advantage. So I love the message in this.
Well, let me say, and I'm going to say this about that movie. I didn't know what to expect. I went into it because the sequels to Predator have been so inconsistent, from number 2. This is the best. This is the best sequel to the original. Yeah.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah. So Prey made my list, and now the next one on my list is also going to be a controversial one. People are not going to agree with me on this, and I'm ready for it. I can defend it. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Well, you know what? I agree. I'm with you on it.
Thank you. It does not work as a good Marvel movie. It works perfect as a horror movie. Yeah. We have zombies. We have interdimensional travel. We have witches, sorcery, magicians. We have all sorts of things in this movie that makes it the perfect horror film. Mm-hmm. And aside here, I mean, it was not the same people that did the first one. The first Doctor Strange, Scott Derrickson and C. Robert Cargill was on that. It was not the same one, but it felt like they were the ones that were doing it still since they did the first one, because it had that same horror element that they usually bring to things. But I loved it. And also another thing is, well, I mean, I loved it once I stopped looking at it as connected to Marvel, you know, not hero, villain, but looked at it in terms of a horror movie.
Well, can I say this? Can I say this? Yeah. It's Sam Raimi.
Yes.
Evil Dead.
Yes.
You know, he's behind it. So a lot of the Evil Dead elements, especially the zombie, I'm not going to give it away, but the zombie part of it, it reminded me of Evil Dead.
Yes. Yes. Very much so.
So that's why
it worked. It worked for me. And you know what? And this is something I tell everybody. And I don't know whether it was because I've been going through the awakening and the spiritual awakening this year or what. But if you go back and you listen, don't watch, don't look at it with your eyes, but just listen to the transcript, listen to it. There is a message all the way through it. Wow. That's all I'm going to say. Yes, Tommy B, since you like the movie, don't watch it. Just listen. Listen to this movie. And just listen to what they're saying, even down to America is about to collapse, stuff like that.
Wow.
Listen to what they're saying in the movie.
Oh, wow.
And I don't know, you know, if it's an intentional thing that they did or what, but listen to the dialogue in this movie. It is spectacular.
So this is like playing Dark Side of the Moon and Wizard of Oz.
Baby.
I get so much right.
It's a horror film with a big, massive budget, too. So we've got the effects that just look phenomenal that we don't normally have in horror films. But because it's Marvel, we got that big budget that came with it, too. So, yes. And I know everybody will not agree with me on that, but it's okay.
Well, you know, the Gen Z was sitting with us, you know, so kind of uncomfortable, you know, it's kind of like, should I be watching this?
Right.
So, yeah, I'm with you.
And a lot of people didn't like what was happening with Scarlet Witch, but I was here for it. I was like, yeah. And that part where when the kids caught her looking bad, man, I was hollering because I saw it about to happen. I was like, oh, she about to show herself in front of these kids. But
cool.
Yes. Cool. All right.
What you got next?
Next is Fresh. Now, the reason Fresh is on my list is because I would have so been eaten. I would have been captured and eaten.
Oh, my God.
We're talking about Sebastian Stan. I mean, we're talking about a fine man. He's a doctor. Now, as soon as he said reconstructive surgery or surgeon or something like that, I was like, oh, he about to cut up her organs and sell them. I wasn't prepared for exactly what he was trying to do, but I know she misinterpreted it talking about a plastic surgeon. I was like, no, that ain't right. But you know what? I'd have been on that trip too. I know, you know, you're not supposed to, but we're talking about Sebastian Stan sitting up here talking about away together.
For those of you who are just listening to the audio, if you're checking out the video, she's so hot right now. Talking about she's fan. It's either put like the church fan.
Let me tell you something. No, I've been fanning off camera, so no. Trust me, sister. I'm with you. I don't have my church fan. I got an old school envelope. Okay.
God damn. She got it. She pull out the fan. Go ahead, Dicey.
I'm up through some changes. I'm of that age.
Not the hot flash. Don't worry, Dicey.
Hell yeah.
Don't worry, Dicey. We can relate. What you got? Oh, my God. Okay, cool. What else you got, Dicey? Don't pass out over there.
And you know what? I thought this movie was scary. The fact that, you know, the flashes that they made to the richest 1% as they were doing it, that was some good development. Yeah. So if they didn't shown us what we were seeing with him being the villain and her and the victims, it wouldn't have had that same effect.
So true.
But I'm sitting up here visualizing this visualizing this whole thing of these people who have more money than they can spend, and they are just buying stuff. You know, it's not good stuff, but they can do that because they got that kind of money, and that is the scary part. Like, that probably is really happening.
Yeah, it's like this. It's like this cabal, this cult. Yeah. You know,
and there's no end to it. Yeah. How are you gonna stop them? You can't stop them. Okay, you kill this man who can cook, who can chop up the bodies and cook and do the operations and stuff, but they can just hire somebody else to do it. Like, there's no end to this.
Well, can I say this before you go on? I'm glad you mentioned this because I have not mentioned this on the podcast. This is probably, you know, for me, I watch horror. It's an uncomfortable watch because you don't know how far he's going to go. So I'm sitting there, I hadn't seen it before, and I'm like, oh my God, no, he's not.
Yes, he is.
And it's just like some Jeffrey Dahmer kind of uncomfortable feeling, just like going, oh shit. But well, I'm not going to tell you how it ends, but it isn't. You better be ready.
Yeah.
Be ready when you watch it.
And you know what? There was one person that they thought was going to help. I was like, don't trust her. Don't trust her. Who stands the most to benefit from him? And I'm thinking about everybody that voted for Trump, right? That particular demographic, they have most to benefit as being adjacent, even though they're going to give up their own rights to be adjacent to the power. So I was thinking, oh, you cannot trust her. She is in on it. So I knew that was happening. But it was still, I actually like how they did that, you know, because that made the most sense. It was interesting that she had given up a limb for it, too, though. So she was married to the cause for sure.
Oh, yeah, Tonya B.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That. But, oh, yeah.
Hey, Tommy, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
The way you prepared those meals, would you have tried it?
Oh, hell no. I mean, you know, my point is, like I said, it's a very uncomfortable watch because it's almost like if you remember Christian Bale in, what was it, American Psycho? What was it?
Yeah.
It kind of goes back to that because of how normal he made it. He normalizes the whole thing like it's just, you know, I'm just like he's going, I mean, seriously, Tonya B, it's like I'm going to Publix and I'm just going to get me what I need for who I'm cooking for. And that
was he's just casual about it. But you know what? I mean, and he prepared, he was like a full-blown chef.
Yes,
like
he was a chef.
Were hooked up. Like they were with the garland sprinkled and everything. Like it looked like a perfect delicacy. Oof. And I don't know what's up with this cannibalism theme that's going on right now, like you mentioned about Dahmer.
Yeah. But there's a new movie coming out, as a matter of fact, about, well, we'll get to it, but about the love story, the cannibal love story that's coming out, I think in November.
Oh, but let me say this to you. There was something before this. Now, this goes back to my time in Philly and before the whole Jeffrey Dahmer thing. It was maybe a few years before. Maybe you may know about this, Dicey. There was a guy in Pennsylvania named Gary Heidnick. And again, nobody cared because he was grabbing crack addicts and drug addicts and prostitutes. Most of them were women of color. And he was holding them in his basement. And the joke or in that area at the time was, what are you making for dinner? Gary Heidnick stew. He would actually kill these women, cut them up, cook them, and eat them. And he got caught because one woman found a way to escape and get out. And he's, it was before the whole Jeffrey Dahmer thing. But if you ever get a minute, just Google Gary Heidnick, Philadelphia. It is to me, it was more gruesome than Jeffrey Dahmer, believe it or not.
Wow. All right, what you got? Number four. Let's go ahead and jump on to number 4.
Okay. Also, with the Leatherface, with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, they didn't have that element in this one, which I thought
good.
Yeah. The next one, X.
Yes.
X. It had the Texas Chainsaw Massacre feel because of it kind of got the same type of scenery. These people were going to make a porno. I'm going to tell you the real horror in this is who the villain was, the way they did the villain, which I thought the reason it made my list, though, we have the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and we have all the gruesomeness of all these other slashers. But here, I love how they did the elderly. Mm-hmm. They showed them, and it's in something I hadn't seen before. So it had such a different dynamic that made it so eerie, but also like, I like that you're going somewhere different with this. So this older woman was sexually repressed, and they even like you can see the sex scene with the beautiful young people and not cringe, right? Well, why are you cringing when they show this elderly couple getting into it too? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I love that that it was very risky, but also very bold of them to do that. And I like the risky, bold nature of this.
Yeah, definitely one of my favorites. And it's based in it's actually set. What was it? 1978 or 79 is when it's set. So it's got that feel. Even the camera, the cinematography makes it feel like you're watching a 70s movie. Like the 70s porn, too. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day. Oh, no. Come on now. So
there's not much I have to say about that one.
But doesn't it remind you, if you watch that old school, what was his name? John Holmes and all the old school 70s? Come on now. Don't be looking like that. You know what I'm talking about. But y'all know what I'm talking about. That whole camera vibe.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Super 8. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I gotcha. I don't even have a lot to say about that one, though. It was eerie, it was icky, and they knew what they were doing, putting the elderly couple as the villains like that. So,
but it's very good. It's unexpected, completely.
Yeah.
It threw me for a loop. It's again one more thing. A24 Productions does this kind of stuff. These weird ass movies. Art house almost. So yeah, I mean, A24. When you see A24, you know you're in for something. So yeah.
Yeah.
What you got
took
next?
Risk. I like what they went with it.
Good stuff. Number 3.
Barbarian. Now, with Barbarian. Now we're getting to my favorites on this list now, okay? Mm-hmm. So Barbarian, first we got Bill Skarsgård, who is my favorite Skarsgård brother. I know everybody love Alexander, but Bill has always been my favorite. I used to watch even some of his indie stuff, and he always had these eyes that look so dark to me. And so then we saw him on Hemlock Grove. Then he became It. Like, he is horror king to me. Like, he is really stepping into that role. So going into that, knowing that he was also in the movie Villains, right? I'm thinking he's going to be the villain. So the whole time things are going on, it's just like, oh, don't trust him. But everything about him is checking out. So it's like that suspense on, is he the villain or isn't he? Is he the villain or isn't he? It really had me on the edge of my seat, only to find out that he was a good guy. And then, and there's so many different turns that happen in this movie that it's like, oh shit, what is happening? What's going on? So there's a rom-com on that's called Love in the Villa. And it's just, cute rom-com. These two people happen to rent out the same villa. And it's so like there's a double booking, right? Mm-hmm. But this is that gone wrong. So she shows up in this rundown area where nobody has any business being. The cops don't even want to be there. The cops don't fuck with this area. Mm-hmm. And she's there, and she's got Bill Skarsgård, and we don't know if he's the villain or not. And then there's another character that says something like, now, once you find out who the villain is, the monster or whatever, then someone says, and she's not even the worst thing down there. I was like, oh wow. God. And sure enough, like, there are so many layers to this movie that it just had me going like, oh shoot, what's happening? Even the way they brought in this other character, like the way it was filmed and shot. They brought in this other character, and they show you that his character is challenged. You can see that he don't quite work with the morality. This is Justin Long's character. And so then you can tie that into why he does something morally compromising later on, because we've already shown that he has questionable morals, right?
Right.
So just did this whole movie. I loved how it happened, how everything was unveiled. I couldn't guess from one moment to the next what was happening. And I always love that.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So Barbarian at number 2. I'm sorry, number 3. And I have not seen it. So I'm glad. Honestly,
you gotta see this one.
I've been thinking about it. So I'm looking for a movie. And that's the one probably I'll get in before Halloween. What you got next, number 2?
Terrifier 2. Now, Art the Clown is not scary to me. But these movies, there is nothing nastier out there right now than Terrifier 2. Okay, listen, I'm not Mommy of the Year by anybody. I took my daughter with me. Now, I warned her, she's about to be 15. I warned her over and over and over again. She even showed me an article. People were throwing up. People were passing out watching this movie. And I was like, but I warned her. Like, you haven't seen the first one, but this is a gruesome movie. This is a gore fest. This is just bloody. It's gonna be violent.
One question. Is it worse than Martyr?
In terms of
yes or no? Because that one I couldn't get through. Go ahead.
In terms of disgust, it's torture porn now. Yeah. But Martyrs has a psychological element that sets it apart from films.
Okay.
Most films. Okay.
I got you.
Terrifier, it doesn't make the psychological cut for me. Okay. They threw in some supernatural stuff that almost ruined it, in fact, for me. Because it's like, what the hell? Just let Art do the slashing. Why are you trying to make it like this? Was she an angel? Why are people coming back from the dead? Stuff like that. Yeah. What we get from that, though, is that he can keep going. So that means he can keep coming back. We've not seen the end of him just because, he looks like he's ended because they've thrown in this supernatural element. But it is a torture porn, but it's also, look, this is for those who also enjoy dark humor. I'm laughing. Like, Art is funny. He is doing stuff that's absolutely ridiculous. So, for instance, once he skins somebody alive, he throws salt in the wound. Oh, he throws bleach in the wound. You know what I mean? And he's always making these faces and doing all this stuff. So it's funny. Yeah. But my daughter says she don't ever want to go to the movies with me again. She was like, oh, that was horrible. There were plenty of times she was like, I'm done. I can't watch anymore. It is absolutely disgusting. And it kept going and going and going and going and going. Like the movie just wouldn't stop. Gotcha. But it is horror. It makes my list for horror. It does the horror thing for sure.
Okay, what you got? Your number 1, which I know people can flip this as ever. It's fluid. It's flexible. But with number 1, what you got?
Smile, hands down. Smile is the number 1 for this year. Smile is psychological. It is heavy on the suicide element, but how do you make a smile scary? You know what I'm saying? This smile is so terrifying. The monster, when revealed, is terrifying. The way the twist happens is terrifying. Every little twist that happens is terrifying. Now, some people may be jumping because of the scares, the startle factor, those jump scares. That's not the scary part. It's being in their head, and it is very suspenseful, but it is written so well that I just loved it. I'm so entertained by this movie. I can't say that it made me think a whole lot after the fact, which is what a movie like Martyrs did, but it is still done so well that I could watch it again. Wow. We talked about, what was the movie that started with an M? With the twist where she was trying.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. I know the one that James Wan, the James Wan movie on HBO Max. Malignant. Yeah.
And like Malignant, I'd watch that again and again and again.
You can watch that over and over.
Smile again and again and again. So my honorable mentions, that's my number 1. My honorable mentions would be Beast with Idris Elba. But I mean, because that has kind of ruined the African safari for me. Like, I don't want to go down to the African safari. I saw a video where circus clowns had attacked the trainers on the inside, and that's what this reminded me of. And my other one would be Day Shift, because it's funny.
Yeah.
They had real proportionists in it. I thought Jamie Foxx and Snoop Dogg did a good job, and I want to see more of that. Like, I want to see, well, obviously more of us in horror, but I love that it was still a zombie film that was still well written. It had great graphics and stuff. It was still entertaining, but also funny. And I wouldn't say scary, so that's why I wouldn't make my list, but it was still entertaining for the zombie genre.
Yep. Y'all give it up again for Dicey Grenor. And I'll make sure I'm going to post the top 10. I always run promos, letting you know, just a reminder. But Black Phone, Leatherface, Interview with the Vampire, Prey, the new Doctor Strange, 5. What was it? I'm sorry. What was the one? The Cannibal? Fresh, X, Barbarian, Terrifier 2. And Smile. And one I want to mention, and for the sake of time, we're going to go into news, but I want to ask you, and I don't know if we talked about it last year based on the release. Did we talk about Midnight Mass on this podcast last year? I don't know if we did. Remember?
I can't remember, but it was definitely phenomenal. It was awesome. Midnight Mass, amazing.
I am telling you guys, probably one of the best vampire, and it's a series on Netflix.
Yeah.
And I'm into all the Flanagan stuff, the Flaniverse, as they call it. Definitely had to be one of the best. And also, just a quick mention, I know you probably haven't had a chance to see it yet, and it's not done yet, but Anika Noni Rose in Let the Right One In is really not that bad. I know it's getting some mixed reviews, but it's definitely worth a watch. But how can people... Go ahead.
Versions. I've seen the other 2 versions, so that's why I didn't jump on this right away. There are 2 other. There's an American version and
the Swedish
European.
Yep, the Swedish version. But there are 2 different. They go from a totally different angle. So if you have a chance to watch it, it's a different angle from the movies. And I won't say what the angle is, but it gives a different twist to the whole concept.
Okay.
Again, and go to DiceyGrenorBooks.com. You can find out all the stuff that's going on with Dicey. Again, congratulations on all the success. Don't worry about Hollywood. Just get your content out there. That's it. Because a lot of people are kind of, avoiding Hollywood these days and doing their own thing. So I'm glad you're out there doing your thing. And always, happy 5th anniversary on our number 150th podcast. Yeah. We appreciate you coming back. And give it up, y'all, one more time. Dicey Grenor in the building. I will not be watching the Terrifier. I might have to be like your daughter, because some of that shit is, the torture porn is on the edge for me. Yeah. I draw the line to a certain extent. All right, y'all. No, go ahead. I didn't hear you. Go ahead.
I was just going to say this is rough, but thank you so much for having me on again. I love every moment of coming on here. I hope I don't talk y'all too much, it's great to FaceTime you be this time.
Finally, right? I got a quick question. I used to really, when I was younger, I loved and lived for horror movies. And now, when I look back at some of the things that we had, like even, back to like the Blackula movies, they were really poorly done, but that's what it was back then. But one thing, and maybe I missed because I'm not into the horror scene as much as you all are, but it would be nice, like you said, you've done this. It would be really cool to see some independent horror movies made by people of color, like, from A to Z, write, direct, the whole 9 yards. And even I think if they went straight to video, which probably is the way to go now, because I don't think Hollywood understands, they don't understand Black people in films, period, but they really wouldn't understand Black horror. Yeah. So I just hope that, you will continue, to really stay focused on your passion and give us, how about a female Black horror movie? I mean, has that even been done yet?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, go ahead, Dicey. But I'd say,
I was going to say thank you so much, Nia DaCosta. I know she's
DaCosta.
Yeah, she's been like Candyman. Of course, we got Jordan Peele who's doing his thing. But yes, I want to come in with females behind the camera, in front of
everywhere.
the camera. Right?
Yes. That's what I'm talking about.
And doing risque stuff, not writing to market, but taking the chances that they did in like X, for instance, taking those type of risks and chances. And Jordan Peele, Nope did not make my list for a couple of different reasons, but I respect the hell out of what he's doing.
Was that was that a horror movie?
No.
Or was it kind of? It was kind of scary, right? No, it's kind of scary, maybe. Okay,
sci-fi.
That's why it's on. That's why it's on her list.
Sci-fi.
Definitely. Yeah.
All right, y'all. Hey, Dicey Grenor, thank you. Always welcome to come back, and we appreciate you. Let's go ahead and do news with Syracuse Mike, y'all, and we'll be right back. Here we go.
News team, assemble!
It's time for the Week in News with Syracuse Mike.
Angela Lansbury has died. The highly respected actress from film, stage, and television may have been best known for her role as Jessica Fletcher on Murder, She Wrote.
Why was the body placed in that particular spot?
Angela Lansbury was 96. Wednesday, a jury in Connecticut decided that conspiracy theorist Alex Jones should pay $965 million to families who were tormented by his false claim that the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting was a hoax.
I can't express enough gratitude for their jury, not just because of their verdict, but for what they had to endure, what they had to listen to.
Robbie Parker's one of the parents who lost a child. It's the second huge judgment against the host of InfoWars. A new Atlanta Journal-Constitution poll taken between September 25th and October 4th shows Governor Brian Kemp with a 51 to 41% lead over Stacey Abrams. Libertarian candidate Shane Hazel is polling at 2%. 6% are undecided. Senator Raphael Warnock maintains his slight lead over Herschel Walker, 46 to 43%. Most of the poll was taken before the abortion allegations. After days of outrage, Los Angeles City Council member Nuri Martinez has resigned from her seat and will no longer serve on council. She first gave up her role as council president, but angry residents wanted her off council following a leaked recording where she is heard in Spanish referring to a black child of another council member, saying he's like a monkey. A Florida jury has recommended life in prison for a former student who murdered 17 people at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland. Nicholas Cruz, who is now 24, killed 14 students and 3 staff members on Valentine's Day in 2018. He used an AR-15 style assault rifle. Many of the victims' family members in court expressed their outrage that the killer was given mercy. In what was likely their last public hearing, the January 6th committee made it clear that one person was responsible for the attack on the U.S. Capitol last year. It was former President Donald Trump.
The president knew the crowd was angry because he had stoked that anger.
His intent was plain: ignore the rule of law and stay in power.
The panel also voted unanimously to subpoena Trump. Committee Chairman Betty Thompson warned that the former president had an obligation to appear and explain himself. Also Thursday, the Supreme Court made it clear that they don't want to get involved in Trump's effort to upend the Justice Department probe into classified material that was brought to Mar-a-Lago. The court turned down his emergency request, which could have delayed the case. The High Court offered no explanation for their decision.
One thing I have not done, I've never pretended to be a police officer, and I've never threatened a shootout with the police.
Well, and now I have to respond to that.
We are moving on, gentlemen.
I have to respond to that. And you know what's so funny? I am with many police officers, and at the same time,
Mr. Walker, Mr. Walker, excuse me, Mr. Walker. Please, out of respect, I need to let you know, Mr. Walker, you are very well aware of the rules tonight.
Yes.
And you have a prop. Yes. That is not allowed, sir. Yes. I ask you to put that prop away.
Well, it's not a prop. This is real. And he said, I have a problem. I never worked with law enforcement. It is considered a prop, Mr. Walker. Yes. Excuse me, sir. Yes.
You're very well aware of the rules, aren't you?
Well,
aren't you aware of the rules?
He brought up the truth. Let's talk about the truth.
Thank you for putting that prop away. And as a matter of fact, we still have a lot to get to, and we are not going to continue this. We're going to follow up with a question.
I just wanted to play that again, and I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail on Herschel Walker, but somebody asked me what I thought, and I had a really good conversation with Howie, Tonya B. We were talking because I was a high school athlete, and I was in high school when Herschel won the Heisman. So, and he was from Wrightsville, he's from Georgia. But the whole thing, people ask...
We don't want him, give him back.
Yeah, but people ask, why Herschel? And here are the things with Herschel, and they know this. He's going to be loyal to them. He's going to be loyal because he always has been to them. And they don't really care about the dirt. He's going to be loyal. And it doesn't mean anything. All the stuff, everything that's coming out doesn't mean anything to, and I'm just going to say it, the white audience, because he's not one of them. They look at him as an end, the end to a means, the means to an end, basically. That's all he is. And honestly, he's expendable. It's almost like Trump, like Dr. Oz, like Kanye. He's almost like this outsider. So they don't really care. People are like, well, doesn't it bother you? No, it doesn't bother them because he's the help. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And honestly, I'm going to say this and I'll throw it to you. Herschel doesn't really care about what black folk think about him. He really doesn't care.
He doesn't think he's black.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't care.
So, yeah.
So that's why people... that's why he can run and have a clear conscience. He doesn't really care.
Well, that's why you said he is the help. He'll just be the puppet. They will tell him what to do because it's clear based on the way he was splitting verbs and participles. I have been a work with law enforcement. Yeah. It's like, But even beyond that, Tonya B, I just say, if he wants to go ahead and become mayor of Wrightsville, which is his hometown, that's cool. He should do that. Yeah.
Start small. But with we need in Georgia and a lot of these states like Georgia, people who are looking ahead, forward thinking, not people who just want to manage the situations that really.
All right, but the other thing is, at least Warnock is not a career politician, but at least he does have public service experience. He has experience, working with people, and the underserved and, if you will, the overserved. But when it comes to just being able to relate to people, across the board, across the state of Georgia, Herschel clearly does not qualify for that.
Yeah, I agree.
He couldn't paint my house, please.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. Somebody asked me what I thought, and there you go. Okay, all right, y'all. With that, definitely what time it is. We got to go ahead and get into it. Man, again, thank you, Spicey Dicey. That's a great.
Yeah, she was on fire today. I gotta give her that. She lived up to her name. She was spicy.
She was literally on fire.
All up and through. Yes.
Y'all watched the video. But really, Dicey, thank you so much. We appreciate you, man.
Mm-hmm.
Dicey's good peeps. Good peeps. All right, y'all, let's do it.
Now then, children, it's time for tea.
It's tea time, y'all. Sipping the tea with Tonya B.
Tonya B, I'm just going to let you roll because we tight. Go ahead. What you got?
Okay. Let me see. All right. First of all, we want to start off with the celebrity prayer list. This is like I'm being serious now. I'm not being facetious at all. Just want to say prayers up to former Atlanta housewife Nene Leakes. She has a 23-year-old son. His name is Brent. He suffered a stroke and a heart attack. And again, he's only 23. He's been in rehab for quite a while and will be there for quite some time. His speech has been affected, so his entire life was changed. And this is just a cautionary tale that whether you're 23 or 93, to take care of your health and just go get those regular checkups, the physicals and things along that line. It's really, really important to do that. But one thing I will say about her, I thought was kind of greasy, honestly, was while she did go online and give somewhat of an update about her son's condition, she was very much consumed about telling people to email her if they want to buy the Lanithia Lounge. I'm like, you want to dump it because it's about to go down. Oh, it's very upscale. Is it? I'm like, lady, get off social media. Stop trying to sell your failing business and go take care of your son. Okay, so anyway, that's it. We also want to say our prayers up to comedian Kevin Hart, who recently lost his dad this week. He said his dad did teach him how to be a man, even if it wasn't always the right way. So, we send up our prayers and thoughts to him. And then we got to pray for Ray Jay and Brandy. Now, I think Ray J's still under that Kardashian curse. And last week, and he was on social media saying if it wasn't for his kids, that he would take his life and basically jump off a bridge. And I said, for a piece of tail, it's not worth it. And then, Brandy ended up in the hospital earlier this week because she had a seizure. And, people forget that during the filming of Moesha, she has some issues with anorexia, and she was on some kind of ridiculous diet where she wasn't eating. She wasn't even hydrating. So that's what caused her seizure. But I just hope that, she will not go down that road again, and just pray for her recovery too, because that's serious. And, after all, she is a mom. And, and despite everything, even, how many years later after she hit the scene, a lot of, females of colors of a lot of ages, they still look up to her. So I hope she'll, get it together. And of course, it was really sad and heartbreaking to hear about the situation in Raleigh when you got a 15-year-old who killed that many people. I understand it was some kind of beef with one of his relatives who was a year older than him, and he took their life as well. But again, when situations like this happen, I'm like, okay, we're the parents. And I know it's easy to get a gun, don't get me wrong, but we're your parents. Okay, that's all I have to say about that. Okay, now for me, this is the highlight of the week. And if you missed it, it might be too late. This year marks the 40th anniversary of Tina Turner. They say her comeback with What's Love Got to Do With It came out 40 years ago, I guess this week or this month. But what was really cool is that Mattel, I got to give Mattel 5 on it, because many times they get it wrong with dolls, but they got it right with this Tina Turner doll. And it sold out in minutes. I mean, Target had it, Amazon had it. Target was smart. The doll retails for $99, but they give you a $24 off coupon. But, if you can, find one, and it's kind of jacked up because collectors probably snatched them all up and they're going to hold them hostage. But I got mine. So to that, I just say, eat the cake, anime, eat the cake. So I got my Tina Turner doll. I want to go now. Yes. You know what? Give her credit where credit is due. Tina. And see, the thing is, people talk about why is Tina Turner selling her publishing? Because she going to make a bigger bag off of these dolls. That's all I got to say. So I think, if anybody, she deserves it. But it would be cool to see an Aretha doll, maybe a Patty doll. But Tina Turner definitely deserves this recognition. So I just want to salute her and her legs and say 5 on it. Now, I want to quickly talk about these award show scams. There's a lot going on. And Nicki Minaj is rightfully so hot as fish grease when they took her song Super Freaky Itch and put it into the pop category when she's not a pop singer. She's a rapper. The same was not done for some other rappers. Then you've got Drake and The Weeknd, who continue to boycott the Grammys by not submitting music. And they said that the Grammys is a scam and a sham. And, based on what I know that I won't spill right now, I agree with them. And then you've got, Silk Sonic, who cleaned up at the Grammys this year. They said they respectfully and sexually did not want to be nominated for their album An Evening with Silk Sonic, and I think it's because it was a one-time thing. This was, a situation where the Mars and Pac dynasty has been dismantled. They don't intend to do this forever. So, you know what? And at the end of the day, do they really need it? I would say, nah. Nope. And awards don't mean what they used to. Even the American Music Awards, that used to be called the poor man's Grammy, and now they're trying to be current because now they've added an Afrobeats category to the nominees. And you got people like Burna Boy and Tim's, and they've been doing it. So I give them 5 on it for that. But award shows, I think, are a thing of the past, and nobody watches them. The ratings across the board are consistently in the toilet, and people just won't take a hint. Hello, BET, and your 5 award shows every year. Now I want to talk about some celebrity breakups and breakdowns. First, I want to say, last week, I believe we talked about how our favorite sister, Tia Mowry Hardwick, and her husband, Corey, were breaking up. And she says it's irreconcilable differences. He says he was not cheating. I also heard his ego got big. He's on this show called All American Homecoming, and I hear it might be canceled, so he need to go somewhere and sit down and fold the laundry. But I'm hearing now there is a mystery woman who's trying to come forward and spill this tea. He's trying to keep her quiet. And there was something allegedly that he had done within the range of her Ring door camera. So she's got the receipts. I just hope, they can work it out. And I think T is going to be all right. She's going to keep it moving. Also breaking up after less than, I don't think they didn't make it 2 years. Former Atlanta housewife Cynthia Bailey and the always cheating Mike Hill. We knew that was coming because he was busted cheating before they got married, while they were married, and now that marriage has come to an end. And it's a shame because Cynthia got put off the show. She had no storyline. She went and did like Celebrity Big Brother and Iyanla Fix My Life to get a check, and I just hope she can get it together because I don't know. I guess Leon was the best thing that ever happened to her, was her daughter's child. And after that, she made some poor choices. So, Cynthia, we might have to put you on the celebrity prayer list. Wait, along with Genuine. You heard about him. He was practicing for some magic stunt for this show called Magic with the Stars with Chris Angel. The underwater, I guess the Houdini thing. He was holding his breath. He passed out. So Genuine, they call him Pop Pop now for reasons which I'm sure you can understand. He need to go sit down and fold his laundry too. Okay. But wait, and so does Isaiah. I gotta say, Isaiah Washington. Nobody cares about you. Who asked you anything about Aaliyah and R. Kelly, talking about Aaliyah was not a victim of R. Kelly? You need to go somewhere and get a job and go over there and sit down and fold your laundry too. Anyway, I know I got a lot to get to. Just I'm almost done. Yeah. Also, Ashanti, after Irv Gotti got all greasy and humiliated his wife and his children, talking about his affair with Ashanti. She is on this Gotta Move On remix that Puffy has out, and she called Irv Gotti a Vienna sausage. And what man does not want to hear about his manhood being challenged? But honey, she went there. But you know what? Here's really good. I'm really happy about this. I'm really happy about the fact that Sade's in the studio. New music is on the way from Sade. It's been 12 years. I'm ready for it. And look, she can see in the phone book, and people would still go up for it. And Miss Patty's working on a new album too. I told you about a month or so ago that she may be doing something with Philly, the new soul of Philadelphia, which is Jasmine Sullivan. This album she's got coming out has Jasmine Sullivan on it. It's got Ledisi and Mariah Carey. And then her Lifetime Christmas movie, a New Orleans Noel, comes on December 3rd. And guess who's in the movie with her? Look, Keisha Knight Pulliam. No matter what she calls herself, no matter what, she will be, even when she is dead to the bed, she'll always be Rudy Huxtable. Rudy. So, yeah, Rudy. I'm excited about this new Damon Wayans Jr. and Sr. with their new comedy in development at CBS. So it's going to be interesting about a father and son. He had a good run with My Wife and Kids for 5 seasons on ABC. And I'm not going to really talk about it, but the trailer for House Party is out now. Just go look at it. It's interesting. Produced by LeBron James, and actually part of the plot revolves around his house. And now I want to talk about something. Enough with these crazy people. Let's talk about somebody who needs to get their flowers and their recognition. And if you don't know the name Daryl Jones, go help yourself. This gentleman played with Miles Davis when he was 21 years old. He's from Chicago. He came up in the 60s. He also was a drummer, but he is, how they have like the black guy in the group. Randy Jackson was the black guy in Journey. PJ Morton is the black guy in Maroon 5. And Daryl Jones is the black guy in the Rolling Stones. He's been playing with the Stones almost 35 years since Bill Wyman retired. Yeah, that says something. So, really the bass player and the drummer are the backbeat, of almost any band. And so I think it's, rightful that he should have a documentary. It's on Apple TV and on Amazon. Help yourself and check it out. It is called Daryl Jones in the Blood. So can we just give him 5 on it?
Okay, give me 5 on it.
We're going to give Daryl Jones 5. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, 5 on it. Yeah. So again, I say help. I know you're talking about your scary movies and everything else. Daryl Jones, thank you for all you've given to music of all genres. He even played with Sting after Sting left the Police. So this brother definitely, he is all that. So check it out. Daryl James in the Blood, Amazon, and it's on Apple and Amazon. Yeah.
I appreciate you, Tonya B. And,
all right, I'm done.
Let's go ahead and do this because we're about to wrap up. And
what you watching this week, Tommy B?
And just real quick, Atlanta on FX. If you hadn't had a chance to see it, this is the Crank That Killer episode. And Soulja Boy makes a cameo appearance. I'll leave it at that. Check it out. Also, on Abbott Elementary, Gregory learns a valuable lesson when he sends a disruptive student to Ava. And y'all know that wasn't going to turn out well. Also, just a couple of recommendations, and I mentioned these with Dicey. Halloween ends. I am just incredibly happy that it's over. As a matter of fact, I'll give it an applause that it's over. The dumbest.
The only thing I like about Halloween is when the candy gets marked down Halloween night and the day after. Otherwise,
I love Halloween, but Halloween ends. The movie, Michael Myers. I'm glad it's over. So stay dead, Michael Myers. That's all I got to say. On Netflix, I'm checking out the Midnight Club, which is from, I mentioned, the Midnight Mass when Dicey was on. Michael Flanagan.
I saw that yesterday.
Yeah,
okay.
Flaniverse. It's got some jump scares, but the thing is, I will tell people again, if you've not seen Midnight Mass, you're looking for something that's really quality Halloween, watch that. Also, I mentioned Anina Noki Rose in Let the Right One In. And really and truly, Tonya B, this is about how far you would go to save your child. And it really puts people in a position where they're making some difficult choices, which is, and I was telling Dicey, it's a little bit different from the movies, which I saw the Swedish version and the American remake of the movies. That's what's really different about this. This is about kids, about children. So it's really an interesting watch in terms of where they're taking it. The other thing I would say, again, I am watching Reasonable Doubt because it's like Power. Reasonable Doubt is like a legal version of the movie of the show 50 Cent's Power. That's all I'm going to leave it at that.
You watching Reasonable Doubt. I'm going to go listen to Reasonable Doubt. How's that?
But Reasonable Doubt is actually, it's not bad. It's done by the whole folks who gave you Shondaland, so it's interesting. Also, don't forget, go to the People Poll, go to castropolis.net. You can leave a voicemail. You can leave us messages on social media. Again, appreciate you, KW. I am reading the comments from KW as we speak.
Me too. Me too.
So it's funny. It's hilarious. But your thoughts on anything we've talked about today, go to castropolis.net. Also, you can give your thoughts on the movies that Dicey, gave her comments to.
Yes.
Also, again, just in time for Halloween, for the season, the Nightmare Journal. As a matter of fact, I just uploaded story number 2 yesterday. It takes a while, but now it is available. So you've got the first story next, and the second story is White Flight. Both are up. And if you get the Kindle app, when you search it, go to Kindlevella and search for Nightmare Journals, Tommy B, and both stories will come up. And give me your feedback. Let me know what you think. And honestly, again, thank you. Wow. The couple of stories, the story I put up today has already gotten a couple of reads, so I appreciate it. All again, get the Kindle app and just search. As a matter of fact, you can search for it on Amazon. It's in there.
There you go.
Okay. Again, Tonya B, the Byrdwire is now on demand. Go to castropolis.net, click on the Byrdwire logo, and you'll see the player, and it's got our most recent episode right there. Tonya B, final thoughts before we go to the benediction?
Again, shout out to Lady J. And if you are an independent artist and think you got what it takes to get on the Byrdwire, check out the show and, hit me on Instagram or the contact us button on the castropolis.net website. That's all I got right now.
I hear you. Let's do the benediction. Here we go.
I didn't come here to preach to you today.
Here's your inspirational moment with Vi.
So many times when we reach the end of our rope, we turn to prayer. But when our prayers are not instantly answered, we give up. Today, I want to encourage you not to only pray, but to pray persistently. Don't stress out trying to make things happen on your own. Give it all to God as you pray. Matthew 7, verse 7. Jesus tells us, keep on asking and it will be given to you. Keep on seeking and you will find. Keep on knocking reverently and the door will be open to you. In other words, God got your back. Long as you believe in him and pray to him, he would take care of you. As they say, people, there's nothing God can't handle. Remember that. God answered all prayers. Amen.
Amen.
Amen, Vi. Thank you so much. And again,
hallelujah.
Big thanks to author Dicey Grenor. Go to DiceyGrenorBooks.com. Go to DiceyGrenorBooks.com. Also, don't forget Nightmare Journals available, Novella, the Byrdwire on Castropolis.net. And y'all, with that, episode 150 is in the can, and we are out of here, y'all. Peace and power to the people. Have a good one, y'all. And also happy, I gotta say, I can't end it. Happy birthday. Harold Michael Harvey. Yes, Harold Michael Harvey.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
And you know who else I gotta say before we end? Happy birthday, Mike Roberts. Happy birthday. This was last week.
Oh,
our
wow.
Very own Syracuse Mike.
Syracuse Mike. That's what's up.
All right. And now we out of here.
All right. Peace, I'm going to cook. I'm cooking now. Bye.
Peace.
You've been listening to the G Podcast with your host, Tommy B. The G Podcast is a production of the Castropolis Podcast Network. Thanks for listening.